We're back, people, and today we're breaking a film on Jordan Phillips, Miami Dolphins rookie defensive tackle, and he's someone that definitely needs to be playing a little bit more. You know, his snap percentage and playing time actually dropped the past two games. He's in the 30% range. Would like to see it get bumped up to like the 50% range. You know, I don't think it's a coincidence. The Dolphins' run defense has been really bad. You know, with him playing less snaps, he has been your most consistent defensive tackle versus the run. And for a fifth-round rookie, definitely playing to at least above the expectations for what I think was being asked of him, as more of like a one-tech nose tackle. One of the only guys holding his own at the point of attack, at least like doing his job in a lot of situations. Other guys just not playing maybe well around him. So I would like to see him getting more playing time, that's for sure. And then like if you look at the players on the Dolphins, on the defense specifically, you wouldn't put anyone in the great category. You'd probably put a few players in like the average to good category, and the rest would be in like below average to bad, like a vast majority. Jordan Phillips would be one of the players I'd put in like average to good category. I think that's how he's played. There's some things he still needs to improve upon, but they need all the help they can get. There's a saying that's like, you need to earn the right to rush the passer, and you need to have Jordan Phillips out there so you could take him out in obvious passing situations. So you have to earn the right by stopping the run, and I think Phillips can help you at least earn that right. He's not going to give you anything as a passer, sure, but you need to be able to get to that spot. So definitely going to break this down. Leave a like and comment on the video. It helps out with the YouTube algorithm and all of that. Really appreciate it. Join as a member if you want early access to videos. Yeah, let's break this down. Taking on some double teams. One of the only Dolphins defenders I've seen take on double teams and not just get absolutely bullied. And that goes for every other defensive tackle. Because I've seen them all take them on at some point, but Phillips is the only one consistently doing it. So here, does a good job. He squares up 64 the center. The 60 in the left guard right here, tacks the low hip. You can see he gets moved off the spot, but look at like the play strength and balance here to recover, get back in position, because now he's like low, he's out of balance and stuff, but he's able to completely throw this guy off him. Sees 5 get back to to this side. He hasn't cleared it yet, so he just throws him to the side there and then helps make that tackle. And that was the first run of the game. He made a run stop, limited to like 2 to 3 yard gain, and after that it just kept being big chunk plays. But they were never really on him. Like, he was on the field for some of them, but like he was one of the only ones doing his job. And that's a really strong hold at the point of attack. He's got really good low center of gravity. Very, very strong player, especially for being like a 21-year-old. He is a guy that is, I think, built to be a run defender. Like, to me, I look at Jordan Phillips and he's a guy that's like, he's probably, he might get slightly better as a passer, but it's never going to really be his game. But like, I could see him having just a long career as like a run defending nose tackle. Especially with how young he is, too. Here's another example, taking on a double team. One thing I think he does really well is continue to work. Because, like, right here, they do fire off the ball on him and push him back a little bit. But he understands, like, hey, I'm going to start to anchor, hold my ground, and, like, toss him to the side. Because he understands, like, when they get back like this, take you off the ball, that either will leave the linebacker space to fly downhill, or they are supposed to come up and climb to the linebacker. So, by doing that, 68 leaves him. He's able to toss the center to the side late and then come off of it and help make that tackle. So even though he got pushed off the ball a little bit, he understands the situation. Keep fighting, keep straining, push through it. And you have to make this play here, because once you do this, the linebacker is going to be, not left free. So they're going to be able to get to him. So you're going to have to get off this and make that tackle. And he does. Limits it to a few yard gain, which is what you would absolutely take right now if you were Miami, with how they've been kind of playing overall as a defense versus the run. And, he's done it the last couple games here. Stack, shed. A lot of these reps, he's taking on. He's like 2 gapping, 1.5 gapping. That's sort of his game. Here he's playing as like a 1.5 gap defender. And that means like it's similar to 2 gapping, but like this is your primary gap. So like right here, he's in complete control of this A gap. But his secondary gap is this other A gap. So he has to be in control. And now once he sees the running back clears his gap, he knows he's not going to bounce it to this gap. He's now able to shed, come off of it, and make that tackle. Now imagine if everyone else was like doing a better job at the point of attack. Like, I think that's Matthew Butler kind of getting blown off the ball versus a double team. They get to the linebackers so easily. If other people are kind of doing their jobs. And you're going to see that in a lot of these situations. Like Jordan Phillips, kind of the only one holding his own in a lot of spots. Like here, does it again. Able to completely lift this guy up. Like look at him versus left guard, who's a good player. Like, because he got a better of him a couple of times. But look at him just completely forklift this guy. Look at his pad level. Just look at the Jets guard. Look at what happens to him when he extends. Just completely lift him up and now he's in complete control. He's bending in the knees. He's not playing too far over the top. He's got a good base, and then now he's able to shed off of it. The running back sees that Phillips might be there to make a tackle. He has to bounce in to help, and now they're all there to kind of rally, stop those runs. I just feel like when Phillips is on the field, he kind of makes life. He either like has a really good rep and just wins, or he kind of makes life easier on others, even though they're not always doing the best job. Like you'll see some examples here. Like he takes on a double team here. He holds his own at the point of attack. He doesn't get pushed off the ball. He gets back in position, holds it, and he's responsible. This is his primary gap here, this A gap. He gets pushed out of it for a second, but then gets right back into it and gets control. Tyrell Dotson just plays this horribly. He thinks like, oh, I need to replace down here, but he takes himself out of the position way, and then Rico Dowdle has this B gap to hit through. And it might look like, hey, it would have been nice if Jordan Phillips could get off this and make a play. And yes, it would be nice if he was able to shed this one late, but this is really Dotson's responsibility. Jordan Phillips actually holds his own there, takes on the double team. Dotson just purposefully runs into the offensive lineman when he didn't need to, and then Dowdle's able to hit through for like an 11-yard gain on that play. And there's a couple plays like this, like look at him work out laterally. He's doing his job, so they're going, outside zone. He's able to get his hat across, not allow the right guard to reach him. The center kind of leaves him. He's able to work through that. He is in pursuit. He's actually in a good spot here. Like he's in phase with the running back. Minka forces him back to the inside. Minka at least forces him back in here. But Jack Jones just takes a horrible angle. If Jack Jones takes the angle to the outside, Jordan Phillips is there to make the tackle for a little gain. Now, this only ends up going for a few yards anyway because Jordan Brooks in pursuit. But man, if other other players just do their job, like you're a secondary force defender here, Jack Jones. You got to force him back to the inside. Jack Jones forces back to the inside. Jordan Phillips is right there to make a play. He's doing his job again. As you'll see in pretty much all of these. Here's another example of him, pretty much the only one really doing his job because he fires off the ball. The center does cross his hat, but they stay even, and Jordan Phillips is able to get back across, and he also resets the line of scrimmage. Like, look, he creates some push here. Like, he pushes that guy back a yard into the backfield, and he's in complete control of the situation. It's just Jalen Phillips knifes to the inside, so he gets pinned out of the way. Then you got Tyrell Dotson getting kind of double offensive line blocking him down the field. Ashton Davis getting blocked by a receiver. Willie Gaze setting the edge just a little too wide. Like, everyone else is just like, look how much space there is to work with here. And Jordan Phillips is the only one even remotely trying to make a play, and he's the only one really doing his job. If everyone else is if there's just a force defender that forces this, like, does their job and, makes him hit this lane a little bit tighter, makes this thing a little more constricted, because when do you see lanes like this? If this is actually constricted like a normal run play, Jordan Phillips probably makes that tackle for a limited gain, but no one else is doing their job, and they get a big gash play there for Dowdle. Here's a play where like the run defense actually did do their job. I did show this. Phillips not as super involved in this play, but it just shows like, hey, you meet him at the point of attack. He gets control of his primary gap. He doesn't get pushed off the ball single, and he's able to kind of like constrict down. Like once he sees like, hey, they're pulling away. This is going away from me. I just need to start constricting down, push this into this, and make those lanes get tighter. And everyone else does their job. It's a great rep from Phillips, great rep from Sealer, great rep from Jordan Brooks, and they actually stopped that one for no gain. And that was very rare in that Panthers game. But even then, like he's holding his own here versus a double team. Like down at the they're at their own one. You want to hold your own. Like this run doesn't go near them, but he takes on the double team, doesn't really get moved off of it. He also helps keep the linebackers clean because they're able to fire downhill, so he's not able to go up and get to Jordan Brooks or Dotson, and now they're able to scrape over there. Corners fly downhill. It gives all these players over here, him getting double teamed, it gives them all single team opportunities. Like look at Sealer, Minka, Chubb. Then you have Jack Jones coming off the edge for free. You give Jordan Brooks a free lane, and it just helps limit a gain. And Jordan Brooks is the one getting or Jordan Phillips is the one getting fired off the ball. So like he's really the only person getting two people on him at this point. And he doesn't really get moved. He does a great job anchoring. He actually ends up even pushing Zach to the ground right there. But, obviously it didn't matter in the play. I just thought it was funny. Here, firing off the ball. Instant penetration. Would have had another play here for a potential stop in the backfield if Matthew Butler does his job. Because everyone else, if you watch Jordan Phillips, Benito Jones, they kind of get into the backfield. They are trying to, chop block here. And he does a good job penetrating through. It's just Matthew Butler gets completely pushed to the ground. So him not doing his job, and now he has no chance to make a play off it. Because imagine if, say Matthew Butler held his own right here, didn't get moved off this ball. It would allow Jordan Brooks to feel in a little bit better. It would probably force this guy to bounce it to either the outside or the inside. And, maybe if he bounces the inside, Jordan Phillips has a chance to make a play. He's at least winning on a lot of those reps. They end up falling into the end zone, but it's more just the other guys not doing their job. This is one that, he does a great job avoiding the double team. I love the initial part of this play. Look at him avoid this double team. He feels the right guard coming to him, so he just instantly squares up the center, forces the guard to work into the center himself, and then now he sheds across. Look at him just absolutely torque this guy off the club, and now he's in this position, but he loses a little bit of balance, and he's just not quite able to make that tackle on Breece Hall in the hole, because I think he's just a little bit late to shed. It does still end up not being a super long gain. Everyone's able to rally to it, but it would be nice to see him make that tackle. But the initial part of that play, really well done. Something that the Dolphins have needed. And then I thought in the first two games he was really solid at the point of attack. He had some reps where he got pushed off the ball, but he would have reps like this where he fires off, explosiveness, square him up, forklift, completely extend, stack, shed, also push back. He's not just holding his own, he is pushing the guy backyards and then able to shed late and make that tackle. That's exactly what you want out of a no/one tech. Here, did it against the Bills. Bills game wasn't his best, but he's still showing some control there versus a very good O-line and stack and shed, making some plays. That's what you want to see. Here, able to stack and shed versus a double team, then shed the center late once he works off. That's what you want to see out of the kid there. This is such good stuff. Take the double team, don't get really moved off the guy who's gonna climb, the guy who's comboing and climbing. And then now off the guy leaving you, you're able to shed the right guard like it's nothing to make that tackle with line of scrimmage. Just such impressive work. I really do like watching Jordan Phillips play versus the run, and definitely needs to play more. And I know he's technically even been starting, I think, the past couple games. It's just his snap percentage has dropped. So they got to figure out the rotation. I'm going to have a Chop Robinson video tomorrow. Another player that I think needs to play more for sure. Because his snap, he only played 19 snaps versus the Panthers. And he actually had 2 run stops in his 7 run defensive snaps, which is good. And then also I think his pass rush, you can tell he looks healthier. It's just he's not getting many pass rush opportunities because he's not playing as much, and the Dolphins can't stop the run. But good lateral play here from Jordan Phillips. I think this is really nice to see that he is he's never going to be a great, athlete laterally, but he is getting out there, showing a good feels the flow of this play, get out there and make a play out that's out. You are at the opposite hash, you're lined up on the opposite hash, and you make a play on the almost to the numbers on the other side of the field while being engaged the whole time. Pretty impressive work there from Phillips. I got to give him his credit because that's really good lateral work. Here's another play laterally, really good job using his hands, keeping himself clean. Now you kind of dip your shoulder sideways, don't allow him into the chest, and use that offhand to accelerate and pull away and make that play laterally. Give Jordan Phillips more snap opportunities. You need to stop the run at this point. And then if you get into pass rush opportunities, that's when you put guys in Grant more. And I'm not saying play Grant less either. I would actually play Benito Jones, Matthew Butler less. I think Grant needs the snaps. But also that would allow Grant probably better pass rush opportunities, which is where I think Grant has looked closer as a player. Obviously, I think he's at least had some impact there, more so than as a run defender. So I think it would help Grant get even better opportunities as a rusher, whether you want to use him as a stunt guy, because he's one of the only guys who's had some effective stunts with Jalen Phillips and Zach Sealer. But yeah, shout out Jordan Phillips, doing a good job here. Hey, look at him holding his own versus Quentin Nelson. First game of his career and able to stack, shed, make a tackle. That's what you want to see. When he was drafted, he was 20, so he's a newly 21-year-old, and he is strong as an ox. And he's someone I think will get better. Jordan Phillips was my favorite draft pick. And I think he's been the best, in my opinion, in terms of all of the games. I think Ollie Gordon probably had the best game versus the Bills, but I don't think outside of that game he's been necessarily as good as Phillips. And then I think, honestly, after that, it might be probably Trader in his limited snaps because, he had a good game versus the Colts. Been inconsistent in the other ones. But he's played very limited snaps. He also had a special teams turnover he created, which I think helps him out. Which are probably my 3 favorite rookies. So hopefully they can continue that, and then hopefully, the top picks can develop and show some more promise. Don't want to call anyone a bust after 5 games. It's just not how it works. Obviously, they're playing poorly, but it doesn't mean they're bust. It doesn't mean they're finished projects. I also think like there's a lot of coaching problems going on because like what happened? Why is Zach Sealer all of a sudden playing so poorly? There's got to be some bigger explanation than some of the other things I've seen floating around. So if you guys are, make a like, comment, and subscribe.